Thich Nhat Hanh, the monk who brought mindfulness to the world. Imagine this, a small, gentle man whose voice was softer than the wind, walking as if every step were a prayer. He never shouted, never argued, never preached. He simply taught people how to breathe. And somehow, he touched the hearts of millions around the world. This is the story of Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, the one who turned mindfulness into a path of peace, the one who helped humanity rediscover the breath amid the chaos of modern life, and the one who spent nearly 4 decades away from his homeland because he spoke up for peace in Vietnam. Today, we walk through that journey together, a journey quiet yet powerful enough to move the human heart, not sharp like a sword, but deeply transformative. A journey that began in silence, passed through suffering, and became a light for the entire world. Thich Nhat Hanh was born in 1,926 inches, Hue, Vietnam, a land both poetic and marked by turbulent history. At 16, he left home and entered Tu Hua Temple as a novice monk. Most teenagers of his time dreamed of building careers. He chose a simple life instead, eating meals in silence, sweeping the temple grounds, meditating beneath the Bodhi trees. No one imagined that this quiet young monk would one day become one of the most influential spiritual leaders on earth. Yet from the very beginning, a special seed was already in him, a longing to bring peace into the world, not only to keep it within monastery walls. In the 1950s and 1960s, Vietnam was sinking into division, war, and injustice. Thich Nhat Hanh saw the suffering clearly, and he asked himself, what is the purpose of practice if my heart cannot touch the suffering of the people outside? From that question emerged the philosophy of engaged Buddhism, the belief that meditation, mindfulness, and compassion must not remain inside meditation halls, but must walk into the streets, hospitals, conflict zones, where people are drowning in pain. He taught students, writers, and young monks, be the breath of peace in a world full of turmoil. He wrote books, taught at universities, founded schools, and inspired a generation of young Vietnamese who wanted to heal their country with wisdom and love. But the war grew worse. Thich Nhat Hanh saw villages bombed, families torn apart, children losing their parents. He chose no side. He did not call for victory. He simply said, please stop. We are killing our own people. He traveled to the United States and Europe, calling for peace through dialogue and compassion. His words brought tears to many around the world, but they also meant he could no longer return home. In 1966, he was banned from Vietnam. He spent nearly 40 years in exile, far from his mother, far from his siblings, far from the temple of his childhood, far from the land he loved so deeply. And yet, from exile, he became a global voice for peace. Martin Luther King Jr. called him an apostle of peace and nonviolence and nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize. In 1982, he founded a small monastery in the south of France. That place became Plum Village. It was not a temple in the traditional sense, not a meditation center for escaping life. It was a community of slow living, of mindful living, of breathing, smiling, and treating one another with the simplest form of kindness. There, people practice walking with mindfulness, eating in silence, pausing whenever the bell sounded to return to their breath, looking at one another with eyes free of judgment. From a small rural farm, Plum Village has grown into an international mindfulness tradition with monasteries in the United States, Germany, Thailand, Hong Kong, and Vietnam. Hundreds of thousands of people have found healing there. And all of it began with one very simple thing: the breath, the father of modern mindfulness. In the West, Thich Nhat Hanh is regarded as one of the pioneers of the modern mindfulness movement, not through hours of rigid meditation, not through anything mystical, but through teachings like, when you wash the dishes, know that you are washing the dishes. When you eat, know that you are eating. When you walk, let each step truly touch the earth. He said, we have an appointment with life in the present moment. You don't need to become a monk. You don't need to quit your job or leave your family. You only need to be present in the small things. That is the miracle of mindfulness. Thich Nhat Hanh never forced anyone to change their beliefs. He simply invited people to look more deeply into reality. First mindfulness, peace does not come from running away from life, but from the ability to come home to yourself. Second interbeing, no one exists alone. A leaf needs the sun, clouds, earth, and rain to exist. So do human beings. When we see this connection, we hate less, close our hearts less, and feel less alone. Third, compassion and deep listening. To understand is the foundation of love. No one can be healed without being listened to. After nearly 40 years in exile, Thich Nhat Hanh returned to Vietnam in 2005. He led retreats, offered prayers for reconciliation. He spoke very little, yet his presence alone brought many to tears. In 2014, he suffered a stroke. He could no longer speak. But even in silence, he continued teaching. A lesson about relaxation, acceptance, and finding peace when the body is no longer the same. In 2018, he chose to return to Thich Temple, where he had ordained at 16 to rest. And on the 22nd of January 2022, Thich Nhat Hanh left this world in deep peace. No noise, no grand ceremony, just like a candle that has burned its entire life and quietly goes out. Why does the world need Thich Nhat Hanh? Today, when people rush through life, stressed, anxious, disconnected, and lost from themselves, the breath of Thich Nhat Hanh is still here. In the Plum Village monasteries, in mindfulness retreats around the world, in his books, and in every person who has been touched by the silence of his presence. His greatest legacy is not the system of monasteries nor the best-selling books, but a message profoundly simple. Peace is not something you find at the end of the path. Peace is every step you take. And if one day you feel that life has become too heavy, remember these words of Thich Nhat Hanh. Breathing in, you have arrived home. Breathing out, you are already in the safest place. This moment, the present moment,